Welcome to another edition of Live United, the show all about the United Way of Central West Virginia. We're your United Way, and we're here to tell you all about the events and happenings downtown Charleston and around our 5 counties. And with me today is my guest, Gavin Dunlap. He is an LifeBridge AmeriCorps member, and I'm glad to have you here with me today, Gavin.
Thank you for having me.
That's great. We're going to talk just a little bit about LifeBridge AmeriCorps, kind of what brought you to the program, and then we'll talk a little bit about some specific events that you've taken part in, and you can tell our audience all the great things about LifeBridge AmeriCorps and why they might want to check into it.
Of course.
So let's just begin. So why LifeBridge AmeriCorps? What brought you to the program?
Well, I had just ended with my summer job, and my now supervisor is really good friends with my mom. So she said, hey, I have a position of, if he's interested in having a job, serve with our company, United Way, he can call me and we can talk about it to see if he's interested. So I called Miss Cooper. We talked about United Way and all the things I would be participating in, and it was really, I was like, man, this sounds really like a fun time to help people in the community and to get a better understanding of how people that are less fortunate and to try to help them out. So right away I did all the things I needed to do to get with, the program, to start serving with them. And
it's an interview process, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did that go? Is it like interviewing for a job, or is it a little different?
Yes, ma'am. It was about 3 hours long. It was a little bit time consuming, but it was just the normal, the do's and don'ts about, about United Way and what you can and can't do. It was it's time consuming, but it was worth it, because as soon as I was done with my interview and signed all the paperwork, I worked immediately.
Wow.
I started working immediately.
Okay, great. So did you do any homework in terms of United Way and AmeriCorps before you went into the interview to kind of learn more about the program?
Actually, I did not. It was really just kind of thrown at me, which I was okay with. They did a really good job of prepping me before I started actually doing things for them and serving. Sure. But it was a good time.
So now, in full disclosure, Gavin does serve with our resource development department, so he helps myself and Kim Riddle out at United Way as well. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the events or opportunities? I mean, you've only been with us for
2 months.
2 months. Okay, so in 2 months, you've done a lot.
I've done a very lot. I've done a lot, yes.
So tell us about some of the events and opportunities that you've already been able to take part in.
Well, the biggest thing that comes to mind that I partook in was the Clay County food drives.
Okay.
That was the biggest thing that before I went, they said, once you go and when you do this, your perspective on life will change. And they were not lying.
Wow.
So
explain to us a little bit about what happens this is the pop-up food pantries.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we go every other week on Saturdays, and we start at 7 in the morning and end about 10:30.
Okay.
And we've had almost 300, 400 cars line up.
So what happens
in Clay County. So they drive up, and they have these little sticky notes to say, how much food that they need, how many we're providing for that family. So we load them up as quickly as we can with, fruits and meats and dairy.
And this is the food that's provided by Mountaineer Food Bank,
yes,
correct?
Ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And it was really heartwarming to see the looks on their faces once, I was the man carrying most of the things to their cars, and to see the look on their faces, because they don't have, it takes almost an hour and 30 minutes to get to the nearest grocery store for them.
Wow. Okay.
Because of the recent floods and everything like that.
Okay.
So to see the looks on their faces that they are getting this free food and serving them was heartwarming.
Well, I think it probably puts in perspective a little bit different the way you live your life.
Yes,
and
that was...
And our easy access to food and groceries, and how fortunate we all are. It's really nice to have reminders. And at United Way, it seems like we get those reminders almost daily.
I get those reminders daily.
Yeah.
To see how fortunate I am to live where I live and blessed. And to help those that aren't as fortunate is the best thing you can do.
Wow. I mean, I think that's great, and especially, you know, a young person, you know, at your age, I think sometimes our young people are kind of insulated from what really is the real world and, you know, what's going on out there. So, where are you from? You're native of West Virginia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
I live in Elm Creek, West Virginia.
Okay.
20 minutes from Charleston. Lived there all my life.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Scott High School in
Okay.
Boone County for 3 years, and then I moved my senior year to go to a military school
Okay.
in Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
Hargrave Military
Okay.
Academy. And that put me on a much better path than I was on.
Okay.
It really got me ready for the professional world and the real world in general.
Yeah.
Everything about me just excelled after attending to that school. So I'm really fortunate that I went there.
Wow. So do you see yourself eventually giving back to your home community, or where do you see yourself in the future?
I don't really plan on going anywhere distant.
Okay.
I want to stay relatively close to home. So
Okay.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I know that, you know, you are in the beginning stages of your LifeBridge AmeriCorps life, and so by the time you get to the end, how long is your service? Is it a year?
Yes, ma'am. My year of service is 1 full year and 1,700 hours.
Okay. So what are some of the benefits? I know is there some educational
Yes,
benefits?
ma'am. There's at the end of your service, there is a educational award, and I'm currently going to college at the moment. So
Okay.
once I'm done with my service, I'll use that money to help pay for school. And there's also a living allowance.
Okay. So how do you balance school, work, free time?
That is the most complicated part. That is the most challenging part about serving with United Way
Yeah.
and going to school, and keeping that balance is the most complicated.
So how are you doing it?
I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for my experience with the military school.
Okay.
They kind of put you on that schedule that helps you maintain your time.
Mm-hmm.
And time management was something that I needed more of. So
Okay.
it's really good for me to be challenged in this way, to
Okay.
balance it, because it makes me better at it.
Okay, great. So aside from the pop-up food pantries, so what else have you been doing?
I help with the Equal Footing Shoe Fund.
Okay, great. Can you tell us a little bit about that program?
Yes, ma'am. We deliver to 5 counties across the state of West Virginia: Clay, Lincoln, Putnam, Kanawha, and Logan.
Okay.
Since the start of the school year, we've probably delivered over 300 pairs of shoes.
Okay.
So it's so how this works is the school administrator or counselor contacts my supervisor, Carrie
Okay.
Cooper, and
Carry the shoe fairy.
Carrie the shoe fairy, yes.
Gotta say it right.
Carrie the shoe fairy, yes. So they call Carrie and say the gender, size, and we usually get them within the day or next day,
Okay.
the shoes.
So these are children who either came to school with shoes that are too big, too small,
Yes, ma'am.
not proper for the time of year. So
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
say flip-flops in the wintertime, that sort of.
Yeah, we ask for athletic type shoes,
Okay.
from elementary to high school. We rarely get any high school students, but we still have that option out there. If
Well, the kids today, they're like growing at a different rate, so
Yes.
you need some of those bigger
we
sizes.
do need some of the bigger sizes. We do take donations for the shoe fund. So the biggest, personally, I think that the biggest demand are the bigger people's shoes.
Okay.
Since I'm usually the one delivering these shoes to all the schools, it's hard to find the bigger people's shoes.
Okay.
The smaller ones, we have a lot of those, but the bigger people's shoes.
Okay. So if you're out there and you're wondering how you can help with our Equal Footing Shoe Fund, you can contact Carrie Cooper, the Shoe Fairy, at 304-340-3500. And so we are looking for some of those larger sizes that might help out for some kids in junior and high school. Who, like I said, kids are just growing at different rates these days, and so sometimes we need some of the bigger athletic shoes. But they do have to be new shoes.
Yes, newer athletic type shoes.
So tell me about Socktober,
Socktober is
which we all love the name Socktober. So
has a nice ring to it.
yep.
Socktober is now that since it's October, we do have collection boxes with our people that support United Way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give them a box and has a nice, pretty sticker on it.
Yeah.
And for the upcoming winter time and the cold times, we ask for new socks to go along with the shoes.
Oh, okay. But I do know also that we're going to use some of these socks, the adult sizes, like during the wintertime with the warming centers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you haven't been to the warming centers yet. So
I have not.
Yeah, so we'll be helping out with warming centers when the temperature dips below 15 this winter. But the socks, people homeless or in situations will use socks as gloves. They'll use them on their head. They'll use them to carry items. And so there are so many uses, and so that's why Socktober is so important to us. So you can drop off socks to the United Way office, or again, you can give us a call. We can always come pick up socks from you. But a couple other things I want to mention before we close, but I really appreciate you telling us a little bit more about your AmeriCorps, your LifeBridge AmeriCorps service. We are going to put up on the screen some contact information if you'd like to learn more about LifeBridge AmeriCorps. We're always looking for applications, and like Gavin, it is a wonderful opportunity to not only earn some cash, but also some educational stipends, and learn more about your community and how you can give back. A couple things we want to mention. We've announced our Dancing with the Stars 2020. Dancing with the Stars is coming back to Charleston, so save the date, May 8th, 2020. United Way is bringing it back, so we couldn't be more excited. This is going to be the social event of the season, so put it on your calendar. Don't miss it. We're also having a holiday open house at United Way on November 1st. Please stop by. We're going to have vendors, we're going to have local artisans and crafters, and so again, United Way belongs to you. It is your building. It is your United Way. The door will be open. You can come on in. You can shop. So we're trying to get ahead of the holiday season. But Gavin will be there. I'll be there. The entire United Way team. But on behalf of all of us, we thank you for watching and tune in next time.